Why, Haskell Help, hello, good day. Friends, family, and all guests, thank you for joining here and online for the ceremonies of the Similkameen Elementary Secondary graduating class of 2022. My name is Amanda Palmer. I am the Vice Principal here at SESS, and I am your Master of Ceremonies this evening. To all our supporters here and also at home, I'd like to welcome you all to this graduation ceremony. I hope that this evening is filled with celebration and memories for you. We expect you are planning on taking some photos of the event this evening. You may do so, of course. You can move forward and closer to the stage when your grad is front and center. Please note that we have also had a professional photographer capture your graduate, already complete with their portfolio. And now I would like to welcome the diploma candidates of the class of 2022. District 53 and Similkameen Elementary Secondary, we would like to acknowledge that we are gathered here today on the traditional unceded territory of the Soohkanaakane and Similkameen people who have lived on this land since time immemorial, the land on which we live and learn. Thank you to all the students, graduates, dignitaries, parents, and members of the community for making this evening possible. I would like to acknowledge all the teachers, support staff, Indigenous advocates, and school district staff who have helped support the education of our graduating students for the last 13 years at Costin Primary, Netemkin, and at SESS. Finally, much appreciation to many of our school staff for all their hard work in preparation behind the scenes and during the ceremony to help make this event happen. I would also like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the hard work and dedication of our principal, Ms. Naren Searcy, who has been a caring and positive leader of SESS over the last 5 years. Thank you all for supporting our grads and sharing in this day with us. We all feel honored to share the celebration of accomplishment for our graduates. Additionally, a special thank you to our community businesses. Dawn and Anna's Greenhouse for donating the beautiful flowers and plants you see on display. Andrew Jackbite from Groovy Productions for managing the filming and broadcasting of the ceremony this evening. And Mountain West Photography for the formal photography, and Terry Begman for the candid photography. Thank you to everyone. At this time, I would like to ask that SESS student Riley Demchuk please approach the podium to lead us in our national anthem. O Canada will be followed by the Okanagan song led by Sheila Marsden. Guests and grads, please rise for the singing of O Canada and remain standing for the end of the Okanagan song.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, and all our sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
White Haskell Halt and Chai Squeeze Chichiak Talikin Limped Upana. I just wanted to say I've been asked to drum and sing in honor of our 2022 graduates. And I wanted to invite you to sing along with me if you know the song to honor the students. Limlet.
Thank you, Ms. Marsden and Ms. Demchuk. I would now like to invite Principal Naren Searcy to welcome the graduates.
This font is getting harder to read every year. Why Huskell Halt, Esquisse Naren Searcy. Good evening. My name is Naren Searcy, and I'm the proud principal of SESS. And I want to welcome all of you to celebrate with us for the graduates of 2022. Now, I know there are many speeches tonight, but I do have a few things to say about this group. I first met them when they were in grade 8, and it was my first year here and my first year as vice principal. And I remember that these kids came into high school like a tornado. Or maybe there's a stronger force of nature, like a hurricane, that we could use. I'm not sure any of our staff were prepared, and I may have questioned my decision to go into administration at the time. Our staff had many, many emergency meetings at lunch hour that year to discuss this group, and you should know that way back in grade 8, which, if you do the math, was the fall of 2017, we decided as a class to refer to this group as the grad class of 22, 5 years early, as a reminder of our eventual goal for them, and perhaps for us, which was a successful graduation. And I think looking at them through a 5-year lens, instead of as grade 8s, worked out really well. Because over time, things absolutely did get a lot better. And this group of kids that made some of us question our careers in education ended up becoming the group that reminded us why we went into education. You are a group that has so many strengths. We just needed to find a way to get you to show them to us. And you are the students that caused us to create a new end-of-the-year award called the Sparks Resiliency Award, because we are so inspired by the courage and perseverance of so many of you. And we even made a decision this year to purchase little mini composite pictures of your grad class for our staff. Because as a group, because as a staff, we never, ever want to forget you. That's how much you mean to our staff and our school. Now, the road these past years has been difficult, but you are here. And now you're each facing new and different paths moving forward. Some of you know exactly where you're heading. Some of you aren't so sure. But remember that no matter what obstacles you face, you can face them and go forward, because look what you have already overcome to be here today. And speaking of incredible journeys and looking back into the past, I'd like to share an experience that the grads have had over the past week by asking the audience to look up on the screen at 2 photos. Might be a little hard to see with the lights and grads. It's pictures of our trip. I'll have to explain it to you. For those of you who don't know, we took the graduates to Netamkin School and Costin School for a grad walk this week to visit the younger students and to walk down memory lane. The experience was a wonderful one, as it allowed the grads to visit where their educational journey began, and it also reminds our graduates that they are such significant and positive role models for the next generation to look up to. And I think it's important to reference the grad walk here tonight because it reminds us of the strength and connections here in the Similkameen Valley, and it also reminds us that the celebration here today is not just a celebration of the high school years or the culmination of 5 years, but of all of your 13 years of education, and for everyone who has supported you along the way. And the last thing I want to mention right now, grads, is to remember some of the joy that you had this week at Netamkin and at Costin, when you just started being little kids again. We know at times over the past 3 years, the world has looked pretty dark. There were a lot of basic teenage activities that were canceled or limited, and it was so nice for the adults to watch you take some simple joy in doing a dance or playing on the monkey bars. So as you go out into the world, grads, the expectations of being adults are already weighing on you, but don't lose that part of you that sees the joy in the small things and that appreciates a simple moment from childhood. So from Netamkin to Costin to SESS, you have had an exceptional journey. We are so grateful that we were a part of it, and we wish you all the best as you take your next steps. Lim Lim.
Thank you, Ms. Searcy. Now we will hear from a huge supporter of all things SESS, our local trustee of the Board of School District 53, Ms. Myrna Coates.
Good evening, grads. 2020, wow, awesome. Honored guests, family, and friends of this illustrious group. From the Board of Education of District 53, Okanagan-Similkameen, I bring you congratulations for your current achievements and our very good wishes for your future endeavors. 60 years ago, you can't even imagine that, 60 years ago, I walked across the stage of Simhai to take the first step up the ladder of adulthood. Of course, I thought about the future and what the results might be should I succeed in following my immediate plans. But I didn't see much further than the now. There are so many things that we now take for granted. Color TV, wearing helmets, seat belts, transatlantic flights, not just a radio in your car, but an entertainment center. No long-distance telephone charges on calls in North America. Or oil changes every 10,000 miles instead of every 1,000 miles. The first disc Walkman I saw owned by one of my students cost $500. Now it's a thing of the past. When I attended UBC, there was one computer. It took up a whole room. The only evidence of its existence was used punch cards on which to write information gleaned from the card catalog in order to go into the stacks to find a book. Now, the device most of you keep in your left hand is thousands of times smaller than that one computer of 1962. But your device is also thousands of times more powerful with its many functions and apps. What will your world be like as you climb that ladder of life? How will you contribute? What decisions will you make? Now, pretend that I'm your fairy godmother. I'm here to give you 3 wishes. Note that I said give, not grant. When I took my students on field trips to Vancouver, and if there was time, I would have the bus drive down along Hastings Street. Now, no one has ever said, my goal in life is to be homeless and live on the street. I'm sure no one has ever said that. But for many of those who are currently in that situation, they've arrived there because of decisions they have made. And letting someone else make a decision for you is a decision. My first wish for you is that you make strong decisions that will lead to positive results. Life career. I've heard many experts say that one must be prepared to train in several different fields during one's working life. I remember one Sunday afternoon when I was 4, our living room was filled with several grandmothers, some who you may have heard of or even be related to. Mrs. Clark, Mrs. Innes, Mrs. Stewart, Mrs. Malloy, Mrs. Barker. I expect that they were all younger than I am today, but they seemed very old. One asked me, "Now what do you want to be when you grow up?" "A grandma," I answered. Yes, I can still hear the gales of laughter. By grade 2, I was much more mature, and I decided that I would like to be a teacher, like Miss Manning and Miss East. In grade 5, at the back of our classroom, was a book of readers that were available when we finished our work. The stories were of olden days, from which I always remembered 2. The first was about a spelling bee, in which the word separate was called. How many of us have spelled it S-E-P-E-R-A-T-E? I learned that day that within the word separate is a rat. and I think of it every time I use that word. The second story, which had a great influence on my life, was of a woodworker. The sign above his shop read, "Never worked and never will." I took that to heart. And when I went teaching, I had a good time every day, and I was paid for that. How good can it get? So my second wish for you is that you will find a job, an occupation, a vocation, a calling, if you will, that will provide you with both enjoyment and the necessary monetary compensation to keep you and yours sheltered, clothed, fed, and with a little extra for extravagances. Although I looked at many possible professions after grade 2, I always came back to teaching, and I'm glad I did. Not because I was paid for having fun, but because my future was being looked after. Teachers have a pension plan. Not all worthy jobs have this. I expect that I may have ended up being destitute had I not made that early decision. I'm concerned that more and more people will not have a built-in pension. I hope that you've learned about compound interest in math. It really works. I have here a book. It's called The Wealthy Barber Returned. About 20 years ago, David Chilton wrote The Wealthy Barber. The premise was, pay yourself first. It's not too early to start your pension plan. Every generation is living longer than the last. With your healthy lifestyle, you can live a long and productive life, but you will need the funds to do so. My third wish for you is that you will go to Cole's bookstore in Penticton or Google The Wealthy Barber on Amazon or Indigo and purchase this book and start your pension now. I know projecting ahead 60 years seems forever, but looking back, it's like the blink of an eye. So those are my 3 wishes for you. Good decisions, a career or careers that you enjoy, and long-term planning that will support you in your elder years. May you create wonderful memories of this night and also of your climbing the ladder of life. For in the end, it is memories that we create. May you cherish yours. Have a great time.
Thank you, Ms. Coates. Now we will hear from our Assistant Superintendent for School District 53, Mr. Marcus Toniato.
Oh, that's better. Why Haskahalt, Incha Isqueast, Marcus Toniato. Honored guests, parents, family members, educators, elders, and graduates. On behalf of Okanagan-Similkameen School District 53, it is my privilege to speak with you this evening at my former school in this beautiful Similkameen Valley on the traditional territory of the Syilx people. Often when addressing a graduation class, it is common to acknowledge the bumps in the road that many of the graduates have had to overcome on their journey to this summit of their high school experience. I think we can all agree that these past 2 years have been quite the adventure for all students. Who would have thought that just 2.5 years ago, when you were all in grade 10, that most people thought a Zoom meeting was probably a race on the track between runners. The only Teams meetings we all knew were following sports events, and they were all in person. No one thought whether it made a lot of sense to eat the cake where someone had blown all the candles out on. And just over a year ago, people only attached the Canadian flag to their vehicles on Canada Day. Since you were in grade 10, there has been a great deal of learning. I want to acknowledge the graduates for your resilience, resolve, and strength of character you demonstrated during the pandemic. I believe you have already learned that with each obstacle you face, you become stronger and more resilient. Your next journey in life will take place in an exciting, yet uncertain climate. Now is the time where you must be very discerning when deciding between what is truth and what is fabrication or just point of view. In our world, your ability to think critically, take action against injustice, and form opinions based on solid principles, values, integrity, and unbiased information has never been more important. You are the future, and you must decide who you are, what you stand for, and what you believe in. Are you ready to inspire others? Will you stand up for inclusion and equity? Can you contribute to truth and reconciliation in your community? Will you follow your passion in your career choices? The answer to these questions will only be found in your actions. My hope for all of you is that you are crossing this stage tonight with a sense of dignity in knowing who you are and what you've become, a sense of purpose in moving forward to the next stage of your journey, and finally, that you have options in deciding what you will choose to do next. Cherish the relationships you have developed in your time here at SESS, and don't hesitate in showing gratitude to those who have helped you along the way. Congratulations, SESS graduating class of 2022. I wish for you all happiness and success always. Lim Lim.
Thank you, Mr. Toniato. Next, we have a representative of the Village of Karamias, Mr. Jason Weeb.
So I think we all know that Councillor Philpotter Dickery is typically the one that does this, but she couldn't be here this evening, so she asked me to fill in. I hope that'll be okay. Congrats to the grads of 2022 from all of us at the Village Office, Public Works, the Mayor, and members of Council. As you transition from your time here to the wide world of adulting, I would like to share with you some inspirational quotes that I hope will be of benefit to you in the future. You are in uncertain times, which is neither good nor bad, but it will require of you to find new ways forward that weren't needed a generation ago or even when I graduated a couple decades ago. You have an opportunity to face these challenges and rise, so I leave you with these short quotes. Human spirit is the ability to face the uncertainty of the future with curiosity and optimism, as quoted from Bernard Beckett. So I hope that you will stay curious and optimistic. David Lloyd George said, "Don't be afraid to take a big step if one is indicated. You can't cross a chasm in 2 small jumps. So may you be daring and wise." Lee Iacocca said, "So what do we do? Anything, something, so long as we don't just sit there. If we screw it up, start over. Try something else. If we wait until we've satisfied all the uncertainties, it may be too late. So may you be active and determined and motivated by a sense of urgency." And for our final quote, "One does not discover new lands without consenting to lose sight of the shore for a very long time," from André Gide. As you leave the shore of high school, May you bravely navigate uncharted waters until you discover opportunities that inspire you, encourage you, and bring a sense of accomplishment that will last a lifetime. Best of luck, and congratulations once again.
Thank you, Mr. Weeb. It is now my honor to introduce and welcome the chief from the Lower Similkameen Indian Band, Chief Keith Crow.
Waihaskahalt and Peace Nuxil, Iskui Kalupaka and Kintil Similkamith. I just want to say good day, everyone, all my relatives, and congratulations, grads. You are a success today. You've done it. You've gotten through COVID. You did school online. You've done things that a lot of us have never done. And hands up to you. You did it. I'm proud of you. I also want to offer some words of encouragement as we move on. I hope, and I truly hope for all of you, you find out what you love in life, and that's what you do. You strive for it. Set yourself small goals and accomplishment. Finish them off. You need to, get up in the morning and have a coffee. There's a goal on. You did it. Pat yourselves on the back. You're a success again. I wish you the best on that. But I also encourage you, please put the phones down once in a while and look at where you are. Remember where you are. To everyone here, the land will always speak back to you and will help guide you. We all have a connection one way or another, and that's a piece of it is the land. I think it's, I've always said more encouraging words in the past about learning how to shake a hand and make sure you have fun. Well, I say the same thing again. Please, have fun. Enjoy life. That's what life's about. It's not about being at work all the time. It's not about, you're not going to remember that. Create yourself memories and have some fun. School's going to be there. Work is always going to be there. I wish you the best, and congratulations again on your accomplishments and your successes. You're all great. I remember some of you being born. I hate to say that, but it's the truth. I actually remember a bunch of you being born. So it's an honor to see where you've come to, the adults and the people you are today. And I'm encouraged with seeing the future leadership come up. So limlim to you, and have a great night.
Thank you, Chief Crow. It is now my honor, Chief Bonnie Jacobson would like to be here and sends her regrets. So she would like to just acknowledge her congratulations to the class of 2022. And that is from the Upper Similkameen Indian Band. I would now like to welcome our Member of Parliament for Central Okanagan, Similkameen Nicola, Mr. Dan Elbis.
Well, good evening, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be with all of you today. And what a fine group. Have you ever seen a grad class like this? Let's hear it, folks. Give them a big round of applause. And it's such a special night, and I love coming after Chief Crow because every time I hear him give advice, it's advice that we should all take to heart. Have fun. Make sure that you work hard, but have a good time while you do it. And really, there's not a lot more things I can say other than to acknowledge three things. First of all, look to the left of you, look to the right of you. There is going to be no finer group of people that you can take in your heart wherever you go today than the people that you're graduating with. So please give them a round of applause, grad class. The second thing I'd like to acknowledge is all of the support that you've received. Friends, family, staff, elders, other people that have advocated for you. So they have given so much, and they are so proud of the persons that you have become. Grad class, give them a round of applause for all the support they've given you. And the last thing I'd like to acknowledge is what awesome potential you have. This is a big country, it's a big world, and believe me, whatever you choose to do, however big your dream is, go do it with all your heart. But just remember where you came from. The people that have supported you, that love you, that care for you. I don't know each one of you. I don't think any of you on a one-to-one basis, but I do know one thing. I know when I see a group of people that is proud, and I know when they get the love and support that they need, and you're it. So congratulations, all the best.
Thank you, Mr. Albus. The graduates have 3 SESS staff speakers this year, Ms. Kelly Brunton, Ms. Sarah Browning, and Ms. Jamie Antler, to address them this evening. Let's welcome them to the podium.
Oh gosh. Thanks for the moral support, Bianca. Good evening, community members, dignitaries, tired and happy parents, frazzled and proud teachers, and of course, the graduating class of 2022. In an unprecedented scenario, this year's grad class has selected 3 staff speakers. It probably will never happen again. This is just for you guys. Myself, Mrs. Browning, Miss Brunton, and Miss Antler. We are very happy to be here tonight in person with all of you. No, I'm probably one of these tall people. I'm afraid to touch it.
Here we are, everyone. We are on the stage celebrating graduation 2022. On momentous life events, one often looks back at their past. We all have a past, and our past is a part of you. The people you have supported and have supported you, the lessons you have learned, and the memories you want to hold close. When a grad mentioned to me that they had put my name down as a speaker because I have known them the longest, I had to stop and think about just how long. So some of you I went to school with your parents, and some of you I taught your parents. Some of you I registered for kindergarten. Many of you I taught grade 1 with Mrs. Keys. Some of you I met here when I got to SESS in the elementary school, and a few of you wrote me letters from Coston to SESS when I left. And some of you left big cities to join us over the last few years, but I feel like you have been with us from the beginning. It was very apparent early on, both at Netamkin and Coston Primary, that as a group you have a love of life, a certain zest, some spunk, and some sparkle. A small group, but some go big or go home kind of personalities. Take these traits you have determined in your past 13 years and apply them to all you do. I see so much potential on the stage before us tonight. I want you to set high goals for yourself. Be like Christine, who announced every music class for 5 primary school years that she will be a superstar when she grows up. Always remember your zest for fun and express yourselves. Take a page from Katie's soap bubble painting the girls' bathroom at Coston during my math lesson until I came looking for her. Be proud of who you are and share your talents. Greyhawk playing his flute for each class in the Coston Library. Hannah owning the role of a Shakespearean actress in A Midsummer Night's Dream. And Riley, whose alter ego is a 7-foot inflatable T-Rex that can do a mean modern dance. Give your interests your full attention, like Madeline, who only wrote about unicorns in grade 1, and Nikki, who has always loved animals of all types. And keep up your spunk. You too can be like Shanjit, negotiating his parents' new car price when he was in grade 4. Or Declan, requesting to leave grade 1 to go fishing every day. Every day. And Declan's failed, although determined attempt at negotiating buying the BMW from Toth and Collins. As you embrace this present moment and stride off into your future, Never lose your love of laughter. Always skip or sing down a hallway. Never stop announcing your presence, entering a room with flair. Logan, though, you maybe should change up. Yo, Brunton. But all of you, keep announcing your presence wherever you go. As individuals and as a group, you have brought intensity and joyfulness to the hallways of SESS, and I'm going to miss you.
Good evening, everyone. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Jamie, or Miss Antler if you're feeling fancy, and I am not a teacher, but I'm an EA. Graduates, I have been lucky enough to have started this journey with you through your high school years, either in class, homework club, or online, which, if you do the math, and I did, works out to roughly 2,186 hours. It has been an amazing 5 years watching you all grow and become the people you are today. Instead of giving any advice or wise words, I thought maybe I would share a little of what I learned from all of you. First, there is no end to the amount of moral dilemmas that Quillocan can come up with. At least there wasn't until Mrs. Browning banned moral dilemma questions in class. I learned that each of you is an expert at something. Did you know that there are more than 30 subspecies of wolves? I didn't, but thanks to Nick, now I do. Riley Dick has not met a cup of coffee he can't spill, as proved by this official document that was drawn up in November of 2020, signed by Riley, Nathan, Declan, and Kaylee, and witnessed by myself, stating that Riley would pay them each 25 cents per spill. Riley, you owe them each $6.50, and it is time to pay up. We all discovered new ways to stay together when your time at school was interrupted by the pandemic. When we made that transition to online learning, all bets were off. We would get all set up, send out our messages offering support for schoolwork, and then we'd wait for replies of, "I'm ready." And what we learned was that everyone here reverted to most unschool-like schedule. And some of you, like Bianca and Logan, did your best work late in the evenings. I learned the importance of placing the right emphasis on words, like Jaden and Rajpreet found out in English. It's minors, not minors. I learned the subtle art of how to quickly change the subject by following Liz's lead. So, anyways. Finally, I learned that 2,186 hours was not enough time, but it's what we got. Home is behind you, the world is ahead, and there are many paths for you to tread. Even though I can't go with you wherever you all go on to next, please remember to include me in your future. The door is always open.
I have been chosen to give you advice about your future, as so many others have done tonight. I have chosen to do so by presenting you with advice based on themes of one of the most influential and futuristic movies of its time. Can anyone guess what it might be? It is absolutely E.T. For those of you who do not know, I showed E.T. to this class in grade 9, and it was possibly the worst teaching decision I have ever made. I did not know that Ethan, Caleb, Jaden, Trent, and Declan could have been such brutally honest movie critics. But they definitely have a future in that, if they wish. Despite your malice for E.T., I believe it has many great lessons that if you carry with you in the future, can help you along the way. Number one, we're all different. Even though their teachers confused them for their entire school career, we know that Jaden and Caleb are two very different people. Everyone has different strengths, looks, cultures, traditions, and beliefs. Be open to them. Number two, open yourself to new learning and experiences. The great thing about E.T. is that he was open to learning from Elliot and his family. He traveled. He was abandoned on a planet by his parents, but that's beside the point. He experienced new things, and then he went home with new knowledge gained and wonderful friends made. He may have been lost and scared when he arrived at his new destination, but he didn't let those initial challenges impact what he learned or experienced on Earth. Number three, take responsibility. Elliot is a kid. Then all of a sudden, he is stuck with a giant alien baby. Or as Ethan referred to him, a thumb. He is forced to act responsibly, and when he doesn't, there are significant ramifications to himself and those around him. During your time at SESS, you have gained responsibilities and learned to take ownership over your actions. Remember that your choices have an impact. It's okay to make the wrong decision, but make sure you take responsibility when you do. Number four, learn how to communicate. Elliot and E.T. don't speak the same language, but E.T. is open to learning and Elliot is willing to teach him. Communication is a skill that will help you in all realms of your life. Be like Elliot and E.T. or Rajpreet and Satwinder. Form true and authentic connections. Sometimes these connections can take a while, like Sage and I. Sage called me teacher lady for the first several years of high school, but he now knows my name. Sometimes it's Mrs. Brownie, but I'll take it. Or think about Tegan Satwinder and Elizabeth's connection to their favorite teacher, Mr. Reichel. Number six, find your passion. Elliot is passionate about ensuring E.T.'s return to his home planet. This is the key to his success. Many of you have passions. Hannah and her love of aesthetics, Lincoln and his passion for welding, Declan and his adoration of building cars and brutally mocking Mr. Toth for being a hipster, Qualakan and food, AJ and drip, Sage and rodeo, Nick and wolves, Riley and sports, Trent and Mountain Dew, Rajpreet and TikTok, Liz and hurdle, Tegan and napping, Shanjeet and basketball, Riley and telling the honest truth. Use your passions to shape your world. Focus your mental wellness and influence those around you for better. We are very proud and honored to have been selected to speak to you tonight. We are proud and honored to have been a part of your journey. And like Miss Adler said, the door is always open. Congratulations, class of 2022.
Thank you, Ms. Brunton, Ms. Browning, and Ms. Antler. Graduates of SESS, it is time to receive your official recognition of the past 13 years of your education. Each grad will receive a graduation portfolio and a flower. I would like to invite SESS teachers, Mr. Mario Corrales and Mr. Cameron Adam, to the podium now to read the names of our graduates with a personal statement for each one. Also, Ms. Searcy, please come to the stage for the presentation of the graduation portfolios.
AJ Allison. AJ's favorite memories at SESS are the things he did this year with the grad class, including the Apex ski trip and the year-end grad trip. He also remembers taking a few too many trips to the office in elementary school. Next year, AJ plans to work at the mine in Princeton, and he would like to thank Miss Carter, Mrs. Antler, Mrs. Brunton, and Mr. Brenneman for all of their support. AJ is also one of the winners of the SESS Resiliency Award for demonstrating an ability to overcome adversity on his path to graduation. Lincoln Anderson Fraser. During his time at SESS, Lincoln was involved in the mechanics and metalworking programs. His favorite memory is being taught by Mr. Toth, so he has the skills to be whatever he wants to be. Next year, Lincoln will continue to attend Okanagan College, and in 10 years, he plans to be a deep-sea underwater welder. Lincoln would like to thank Mr. Brenneman and Mr. Toth for their guidance and understanding. His favorite quote is, "Cherish every minute with your loved ones, as you never know when they might be gone. Love you, bro." Lincoln is a recipient of the Karamias Fast Gas Bursary for $500 presented by Jagdeep Sumal. Lincoln is also the winner of the Cisco Foods Bursary for $500. Trent Arcand. Next year, Trent plans to attend Okanagan College to study in the Culinary Arts program, and 10 years from now, he hopes to be a Red Seal chef working in a fancy restaurant. Trent's favorite quote is, "I only drink Mountain Dew because it's green." Trent would like to thank his mom and Mr. Reed for all of their support. Trent is the recipient of the Harry Robinson Memorial Bursary for $500 and the School District 53 Non-Academic Trades Award for $1,000.
Grads, if you could just stay up at the front a little bit longer when you receive your diploma. Sanjit Brar. During his time at SESS, Sanjit was a dedicated member of the basketball and soccer teams, and his favorite memories are of the track meet and other fun competitive events. Next year, Sanjit will be studying sciences at UBCO, and in 10 years, he plans to be living in a mansion with lots of money. Sanjit would like to thank all of his friends and family for their support. Sanjit is the recipient of the Judy and Greg Quadflag Memorial Bursary for $1,000 and the Pat Clark Memorial Bursary for $390. Kaylee Brown. While at SESS, Kaylee wasn't involved in many events because, in her own words, she radiates too much swagger to participate in things. Her favorite memory was the ceiling tile incident. Next year, she plans to enter the workforce. In 10 years, Kaylee will be 28. Kaylee would like to thank Jashana, Christine, Bree, her aunt and uncle, and Mrs. Brunel and Mrs. Browning for all their support. Riley Demchuk. During her time at SESS, Riley was very involved in the athletics programs, including the basketball, swimming, soccer, and volleyball teams. Next year, she plans to study business management at Okanagan College, and in 10 years, she will be a success at whatever she is doing. Riley appreciates all the support of her mom, dad, sister Jade, and her closest friends. Riley is the recipient of World Hobby Horse Council Award for $400 presented by Tamara Nunes. the Caramias Volunteer Fire Department bursary for $500 presented by Brian Helm. The Amanda Monroe Memorial bursary for $300 and the Cisco Foods bursary for $500.
Nathan Dieger. Nathan's favorite memories at SESS involve playing pranks on the school staff. Next year, he plans to attend college to become a mechanic, and in 10 years, he hopes to own his own business. Nathan's favorite quote is, "Don't sweat the small stuff." And he would like to thank Mr. Toth, Mrs. Brunton, and his family for all their support. Nathan is a recipient of the Auto Trades bursary for $500 presented by Lucas Toth. The Canadian Royal Purple Society Caramias Lodge number 83 bursary for $500 presented by Marie Farron. The Caramias Fast Gas bursary for $500 presented by Jagdeep Sumal. The Caramias Costin Sportsman Association bursary for $500 and the District Authority Scholarship for $1,250. Riley Dick. Never let anyone get in the way of your dreams and always try to be better yourself are words of advice that Riley would like to share. Riley's favorite memory at SESS were the shop barbecues and cooking marshmallows in the forge. In 10 years, he plans to own his own business, have a family, and have some rental properties for rental income. Riley would like to thank Miss Antler, Mr. Toth, and Mr. Collins for all their support. Riley is a recipient of the Caramias BPO Elks Lodge 56 bursary for $500 and the Cars Under the K bursary for $500. Greyhawk Eustache Pion. Next year, Greyhawk plans to work for the Natural Resources Department, and in 10 years, he wants to be living and working and having fun. His advice to others is, don't be dumb, stay in school. Greyhawk would like to thank Mr. Mike Reed, Mrs. Brunton, and his friends and family for all of their support. Greyhawk is also a recipient of the SESS Resiliency Award for demonstrating perseverance and an ability to overcome adversity on his path to graduation.
Riley Franklin. During her time at SESS, Riley was very involved in the cafeteria program, and her favorite subjects were math and social studies. Next year, Riley plans to work and become a certified nail technician. In 10 years, she plans to be living her best life, healthy and happy, and to have $1 million. Riley appreciates all the support of her mom, Mrs. Browning, Mr. Carrells, Mrs. Brunton, and her younger brother during her high school years. Riley is the recipient of the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 192 Scholarship for $1,000 presented by Beverly Remizov. Don't go anywhere, Riley. The District Authority Scholarship for $1,250 and the CUPE Local 523 bursary for $500. Jaden Glass. Jaden's favorite memory at SESS was the trip the grads went on to Kelowna. Jaden's future plans involve moving, and in 10 years he plans to be on top of the world. His advice to others is to keep going to school. Jaden would like to thank Mr. Brenneman for all his support, as well as himself. Caleb Glass. Next year, Caleb plans to move to Kelowna and to work in construction, and in 10 years, he plans to be very successful. His favorite memory from his time at SESS is the year-end grad trip, and he wants to thank Mrs. Brunton, Mrs. Browning, and Mr. Brenneman for all their support. Caleb leaves us with the advice to enjoy going to school because it goes by faster than you think.
Christine Gray. Christine's favorite memories at SESS are the trip to Camp Tulahead and all the basketball tournaments. Her plans for next year are to make it up as she goes. The most important event during her time in high school was pranking Mr. Collins. Christine would like to thank her family, Elizabeth, Madame Cope, and Mr. Corrells for their support. Rajpreet Litter. Rajpreet has two important plans for next year. The first is to attend UBCO, and the second is to cry. In 10 years, she plans to be a billionaire, to own her own business, and to be a dog mom. Her favorite memory from SESS is getting the opportunity to learn how to ski on the outdoor club trips. Rajpreet shares these words of wisdom. Math is important, don't fail math, kids. She would like to thank her parents, her sister, and her dog, Rocky. Rajpreet is the recipient of a Royal Canadian Legion Branch 192 scholarship for $1,000 presented by Beverly Remizov. The Linda Edwards Agricultural Bursary for $1,000 presented by Brian Mennel. The Okanagan Correction Center Scholarship for $500 and the Parent Advisory Council Bursary for $500. Kolakan Lewis. During his time at SESS, Kolakan enjoyed the school powwows and the Teacher vs. Grad burger eating contest. Next year, Kolakan plans to attend Okanagan College in Kelowna to study culinary arts, and he eventually hopes to have a successful culinary career. Kolakan's favorite memories are the year-end trip and playing stick games and double ball. He would like to thank his family and friends, as well as himself, for pulling through and graduating. Kolakan is a recipient of the QP Local 523 Bursary for $500, the South Okanagan Similkameen Teachers Union Scholarship for $1,250, and the District Authority Scholarship for $1,250.
Bianca Marsden. Bianca's favorite memory is when she and Christine were playing basketball and realized that they were shooting at the wrong hoop. During her time at SESS, she was involved in the after-school program and many field trips with the Okanagan class. Bianca's favorite quote is, "Never argue with a stupid person. They will drag you down to their level and beat you with experience." Bianca would like to thank Mrs. Antler, Mr. Brown, Mr. Adolph, Mrs. Brunel, Mrs. Brunton, Miss Tin, Miss Browning, Mrs. Browning, and Mr. Kessler for all their support. Caleb Montgomery Reed. Caleb is a dedicated and talented athlete, and so it's no surprise that his plans for next year are to play basketball at Okanagan College. Caleb will also be enrolled in the business program with a plan to pursue a business career. Caleb would like to thank Mrs. Browning, Mrs. Antler, and Mr. Brown for all their support. Moshepe Falua Omajua. Moshepe Falua's favorite memory of SESS were the basketball tournaments, the soccer provincials, and the outdoor trips. Next year, she plans to study hard at the University of Calgary, and in 10 years from now, she plans to be working in medicine and getting all the dough. Moshepe Falua would like to thank Mr. Reichel and Mr. Krels and her friends and family and all the staff who supported her throughout high school. Moshepe Falua is the recipient of the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 192 Scholarship, and I've been told, for the rest of you that got one of these, that they're worth $1,500, presented by Beverly Remezov. The Karamias Doctor's Bursary for $1,000. The School District 53 Academic Scholarship for $1,000. And the District Authority Scholarship for $1,250.
Madeline Pender. Next year, Madeline plans to take a year off and go into the workforce to make some more money. In 10 years, she plans to be living in Vancouver and to have a job doing something she enjoys. Madeline wants to thank her family, friends, and her teachers for all of their support during high school. Congratulations, Madeline. Tegan Peterson. Tegan's favorite memories from SESS were the basketball tournaments, sleeping on the bus, and math classes. Next year, Tegan plans to attend the University of Calgary to study engineering. She would like to thank her family, especially her mom, her friends, including Liz and her big brain, and Mr. Reichel and Mr. Corrales for all their jokes. Tegan is the recipient of the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 192 Scholarship, presented by Beverly Remezov. The Linda Edwards Agricultural Bursary for $1,000, presented by Brian Mennel. The Karamias Fast Gas Bursary for $500, presented by Jagdeep Sumal. The Beecroft Family Bursary for $2,000. The Okanagan-Similkameen Administrators Association Scholarship for $500, and the PharmaSave Karamias Bursary for $500. Logan Prindick. A favorite quote of Logan's is, "A day only lasts a moment, but a memory lasts a lifetime." Next year, Logan plans to move to Vancouver and learn about stocks and running a business. His favorite memory of SESS was coming here in grade 8 and making great friendships. The highlight of his time here is his graduation. Logan would like to thank Jody Carter, Mrs. Brunton, and his family for all their support during high school.
Satwinder Rai. Next year, Satwinder plans to attend UBCO to pursue a bachelor's degree in business management, and in 10 years, she hopes to be a certified public accountant, making big money. Satwinder would like to thank Mr. Reichel and her friends and family, especially her parents, for all these sacrifices that they have made. Satwinder is the recipient of the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 192 Scholarship for $1,500. The Linda Edwards Agricultural Bursary for $1,000, presented by Brian Mennel. The School District 53 Academic Scholarship for $1,000. The South South Okanagan Similkameen Teachers Union bursary for $550, and the Parent Advisory Council bursary for $500. Nikki Schwetchi. Nikki's favorite memory from SESS was stacking plates into a Jenga tower on the cafeteria with Faith. Next year, Nikki plans to live and work in Kelowna, and in 10 years, she hopes to be working at a bakery. Nikki would like to thank her family, friends, and her boyfriend for all their support, and some words of advice for others are, don't push yourself, take time, and ask for help. Hannah Shore. During her time at SESS, Hannah was a dedicated member of the soccer program and the athletic council. Her future plans include attending college in Edmonton to get certified in nail and lash design. Her favorite memory of SESS is the soccer provincials in the cusp before COVID. Hannah's favorite quote is, "Live life to the fullest." Hannah is the recipient of the District Authority Scholarship for $1,250 and the Music Under the K bursary for $170.
Nicholas St. Cyr. Some words of wisdom from Nick are, everyone knows something you don't, so learn from them. Next year, Nick plans to attend Okanagan College to study carpentry, and 10 years from now, he expects to be a Red Seal carpenter working for a high-end construction company. He would like to thank his mom, Mrs. Reichel, Mrs. Antler, and Mrs. Brunton for all their support. Nicholas is a recipient of the School District 53 Non-Academic Trades Award for $1,000. Jaden Talio. Next year, Jaden will be enrolled in Okanagan College in Kelowna, and in 10 years, he plans to be running his own business. His favorite memory from SESS was the grad trip, and he was also a dedicated member of the basketball program. Jaden would like to thank Mrs. Antler for all of her support. Sage Turbasket. During his high school years, rodeo was always a big part of Sage's life, and next year he plans to keep on rodeoing. His favorite memory of SESS is having lots of laughs with his friends and teachers. Sage would like to thank Miss Carter and Mrs. Antler, Mrs. Reichel, Mrs. Brunton, his family, and his friends for standing by his side, especially his friends for standing up here with him tonight.
Declan Vanderland. Declan's most important accomplishment at SESS was building a car from scratch in the shop with his friends. His favorite memory was throwing a steak at Mr. Toth's car. 10 years from now, Declan plans to have a career with the RCMP and to be living in a secluded area. He would like to thank his parents and all of his teachers for their support. Katie Wooden. Next year, Katie plans to be working on the rigs or a pipeline, and in 10 years, she will own her own home and be achieving all of her dreams. Her advice to everyone is, don't let others stop you from reaching your goals. Katie would like to thank the teachers and the administration for making her graduation possible. Congratulations, Katie.
At this time, guests and grads, please rise for the singing of the honor song by the High Water Singers. Please remain standing until the end of the honor song. Thank you, High Water Singers. Guests, grads, you may be seated. Now I would like to call forward our valedictorians, Moshobe Folua, Omojua, and Jaden Telio, to present their message for the SESS graduating class of 2022.
Good evening, community members, dignitaries, parents, staff, peers, and of course, the graduating class of 2022. We are very honored to be elected as this year's valedictorians. We're extremely excited to have you guys all here together at the first live grad since 2019. This is an amazing opportunity to represent our grad class as well as our community on this very special day. We would like to congratulate our teachers for surviving our hectic grade. I know it wasn't easy. Our annoying behavior can make one short-tempered. I mean, Ms. Brunton had the most kills at our laser tag trip. We would like to apologize for contributing to early onset hair loss and premature graying. We hope that you know how much we appreciate all that you guys have done for us.
Congratulations, grads. We have finally made it. We've been through 5 years of high school, and we've come out better, smarter, and stronger. We have learned many things, except how to pronounce Liz's full name. We have come a long way from that tag that shall not be named and man tracker to becoming young adults who may or may not be ready to proceed in the world outside the walls of SESS and embrace the Smelcoming Valley. We have shared so many fond memories throughout elementary school, like Mr. Granger's PE class, where we played Capture the Flag. That Pacific game changed us wimpy little kids into full army soldiers at war. Let's just say we took that game very seriously. Not as seriously as flipping water bottles every day, to the point where they banned us from playing the game. But water bottle flipping wasn't the only thing that we successfully eliminated from the school context. Our grade also forced administration to prohibit Red Rover, fidget spinners, and also plastic cutlery. However, I'm happy to say that it has been several years since our actions have resulted in the forced removal of any school objects or banning of any games or distracting toys. This is a sure sign that we are growing up.
It is clear that we are a highly competitive and driven group. As a result, we've had some amazing sports moments, like in the 8th grade, where a grade 8 basketball girl shot at her own net 4 times and yet still missed. This determination has continued onto our senior years.
Take Sanjeev for example. At our basketball game in Princeton, he threw up in the middle of the game and then continued to play. He ran out of the doors, vomited, turned around, and came right back to the court. Some would say this is disgusting, but I think it shows considerable dedication to the sport and to our team. It is important to note that while we're known for getting things banned, we're also change makers. In 2017, we formed the first grade 8 boys volleyball team in many years. We got absolutely destroyed. I would like to say we had fun, but we really didn't. That was the end of the boys volleyball team at SESS.
We have thrived together and we've cried together. I mean, for Christine, that was literally every day. We've had to overcome global issues like the pandemic. COVID was like a big pause for us, where we kind of missed those moments in our lives where we could have connected more, went on life-changing trips, and watch each other grow as students. Having to adjust to online schooling was a bit difficult at times, especially to those who didn't know we had online school until June. Ethan.
Despite these difficult times, we showed great perseverance and dedication to making the most of what we missed out on, like Mr. Adams' amazing outdoor trips were an awesome opportunity to travel with everyone after a long and dreadful quarantine. And our grad trip to Kelowna was also a great opportunity to have fun together. During that trip, we learned that Mr. Collins is the best laser tag partner.
I came to Canada 9 years ago, a daughter to immigrant parents from Nigeria. Canada was a big difference from what I previously experienced. Like the cars here actually stopped for pedestrians, homes without high concrete fences, holding doors for passerbyers, and of course, probably the biggest culture shock of all, the dreadful winters. I joined SESS at the start of grade 7, and I was immediately amazed by the connection everyone had with one another. I remember being nervous in a new school where everyone seemed to know each other in a community that was so close-knit. Some had known each other since kindergarten, and I'm referring to my classmates' parents. As an African Canadian, I was a little anxious that fitting in would be difficult. I came to learn, however, that even in a small community like this, there's a lot of diversity and inclusiveness. Making friends was easier than I thought. I encountered genuine smiles and was warmly embraced by everyone I had met. SE has shown me that our strength lies in who we are and how we can come together as a group and not what we look like.
While I've lived here in Kearney all of my life, I was able to grow up with my friends as if they're like my family. I started at Tamkin with Tegan, Trent, Colochian, Sage, Greyhawk, and of course Bianca. While we like to give people a hard time, we also care deeply about each other. Even Colochian, who tended to be a little bit of a menace at times. Later, we joined the rest of the graduating class at SESS. It is true what they say. Everybody goes through SESS. SESS has raised generations of families building connections and resilience in the community. That is the beauty of our small little school. Over our years together, I have realized a couple of things, like how we're a little, unique. Yet, despite our differences, we're all here together, graduating.
We have made many great memories during our time at SESS, like the time I became popular during the pandemic and everyone was texting me for math answers.
And also that time while watching ET in English 9, with ongoing negative commentary by Ethan and Caleb. We have never let down that traumatic experience.
Speaking of traumatic experiences, how about the time Mr. Brown tried to kill us at dodgeball? I still have bruises.
Another great memory is Clohan falling asleep in Mr. Morehart's Social 9 class, and to wake him up, we decided to start clapping. He woke up and joined in without missing a single beat.
Or when I fell in love with country music. Right, Riley? Remember Old Town Road?
One of my greatest memories is the time during a grad versus teachers volleyball game when I blocked it out of the living hell out of Toth.
Now we've come to the hard part. What advice to give you guys? There is no doubt our little group is going to do bigger and better things. I mean, Declan already built his first car. Now we're waiting on a rocket. Sitting on the stage here are future doctors, lawyers, engineers, accountants, carpenters, and kids with big hopes and dreams. Like the eagle, it's now time to spread your wings and fly. Reach for your goals, make an impact, be kind, be gentle, remember the less fortunate, and give with a grateful heart.
And also never forget where you've come from, the small little town in Smelcomine Valley, where we've shaped you to the man and woman you are now. Remember, you can always count on your classmates to be there if you ever needed a friend, because friendship is the greatest gift of life. Always be kind to others, because it will always come back to you, and it may not be right away, but just the thought of being kind to others is an award in itself. We'd also like to thank our teachers and staff for taking the time to support and guide us throughout high school. I know our grade was successfully able to make every teacher known to mankind hate us. I mean, look at Mr. Reichel. It turns out we're the ones to end his career. But you guys showed us great perseverance especially during COVID. Without your love and constant support and sacrifice, this would have been an impossible journey. We'll go as far and wide from here in pursuing our ambitions through life, knowing that you've given us the tools to succeed and make a change in the world.
We would also like to thank our families for bringing us into the small world of Karamias. What a lovely place to live, grow, and make lifelong friendships. I would also love to thank my family for the dedication and sacrifices you've made for me. Coming to a new country created a better life for me and my sister. You've shown me that persistence, patience, empathy, and gratitude are crucial for survival. Thank you for all you've done for me, and I'm proud to have you as my parents. And I would also like to thank my friends. You guys may not know this, but you guys have made me find happiness within myself. And thank you for tolerating me and my crazy habits and all my quirky moods. I wouldn't have made it this far without you guys, so thank you.
And also thank you, friends, Mrs. Browning, Mr. Reichel, Mrs. Reichel, family, and of course, Jamie, for always laughing at my jokes and helping me to get to where I am today. Because let's be real, if it wasn't for you, I would not be standing here today. And most importantly, thank you to my parents, who cared for me and loved me for all these years, and for always keeping up on me on track, and also turning me into a fine young man. It really means the world to me to call you my mom and dad. I would also like to thank our grad class for voting and trusting us to deliver this speech today. It really means the world to us, even though the main reason is most of you just didn't want to do it. But it really does mean the world to us, so thank you.
To the grad class of 2022, looks like we made it in one piece. At the end of the day, we can say we're leaving here with some words of wisdom, new knowledge, friendships, and the tools we need to forge ahead into the world outside of SESS.
And of course, for the final time, congratulations to every one of my classmates. And as Mr. Adam always once said, may the fourth be with you. Lem Lemt.
Thank you, Mosho Bay Folua and Jaden. Now we would like to share a presentation of highlights of the grad class from their grade 12 year. Graduates, you will receive a link to the slideshow.
Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best, you can be the King Kong banging on your chest.
You can beat the world, you can beat the war, you can talk to God, go banging on his door.
You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock, you can move a mountain, you can break rocks.
You can be a master, don't wait for luck, dedicate yourself and you go find yourself.
Standing in the Hall of Fame,
yeah,
and the world's gonna know your name. You can run the mile, you can walk straight through hell with a smile.
You can be the hero, you can get the gold, breaking all the records they thought never could be broke.
Yeah, do it for your people, do it for your pride. Are you ever gonna know if you never even try?
Do it for your country, do it for your name,
cause there's gonna be a day when you're standing in the Hall of Fame, and the world's gonna know your name. Politicians be preachers, yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions, be truth seekers. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers, yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions. Standing in the Hall of Fame, yeah. And the world's gonna know your name.
King Kong hanging on your chest. You can be a girl, you can beat the war, you can call your child, go banging on his door.
You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock, you can move a mountain, you can break rocks.
You can be a master, don't wait for luck, dedicate yourself and you can find yourself.
Standing in the Hall of Fame.
Graduates of 2022, today is a moment you all have been waiting for. We have now come to the end of our ceremony and the beginning of a new chapter in your lives. Many of you have been together in this building since grade 5, so this day is particularly significant. We know that you will carry your memories with you as you each go out and create your own unique path in the world. We, including all the friends and family here and watching from home, are proud of you and we wish you well. Grads, please rise, leave your portfolio on your chair. The practice of moving the cap tassel from the right to the left side symbolizes an individual's change in status from being a student to being a graduate. Our grads can now claim the personal achievement of becoming a high school graduate. Grads, would you now please move your tassel? In a moment, we will finish with a tradition, the cap toss, and grads will then each come down off the stage and exit the gym. All audience members remain at your seats until every graduate has fully exited the gym. After the grads have left the building, guests may leave the gym to meet their graduate at the courtyard. Friends, families, community members, it is my pleasure to present to you Similkameen Secondary's graduating class of 2022.